I have so many things. I'm gonna try and speak to all of it well and smoothly. Thank you very much for your presentation and for the clear information. I think we have several issues here, obviously, the financial, the safety, our RENA goals, and the humanitarian. I think I don't have anything new to say about the financial component. I think that's really important. I am hopeful that through collaborations and conversations, we can come to some good agreements to support our city for the long term and not just the short term. In terms of our RENA goals, when it came to extremely low income, we didn't meet that for the last round. We're looking at another 575 for this round. And without these 100 units towards our RENA goals, I don't know what other plans or subsidies or support we have to meet those for this next 8-year round. So we could probably fail again without this program to help us towards those RENA goals. And these are the housing units that protect us. I'm still learning all of the legislative numbers, but the development that can come in and bypass all of our standards because they're gonna have affordable. So if we don't meet these RENA goals, that puts us in jeopardy of more of that. And we already have some of those looking at our city. So this can actually help us prevent from that other type of development that we don't have control over. But what I really want to speak to tonight is the humanitarian. I spent 18 years of my career working with homeless people, 5 years before that throughout college and high school, working with people who are homeless. They are people. You hear people say, oh, I'm not racist, but. Tonight I heard a lot of, well, I'm not against homeless people, but I care about people, but. We need to think about what we're saying. We need to think about who we see with people. I ran an education program where we brought people in to volunteer. And in the morning before they served, we asked them, please describe a homeless person. And they would name all the things, the shopping cart, dirty, smelly, right? And we'd write it up on the board. And then they would go out in the community and volunteer. We'd actually have them wait in line with our guests in the dining room, our guests, not our clients, our guests in the dining room, not the soup kitchen, and sit in the dining room and have a meal with people. And then after lunch, they came back to our classroom and we said, describe to me the people you met today. Funny, smart, sad, lonely. You know, we said, what's the difference between what we wrote this morning and what we wrote this afternoon? This morning was just what we saw about people on the outside. But today we spent a day with people, and this is who we see on the inside. Please, we have people who are struggling. Yes, there's people that are committing crimes. I'm not condoning any of that. But we need to look deeper at the people in our community. There is the visible homeless, and there's the invisible homeless. And there's the stages that people go through. Just like there's the rings that people fall down when they fall into homelessness, there's the stages people go through as they get back up that ladder. So stage one is that shelter where they find that beginning stability and maybe get to know the staff there, maybe start feeling safe enough to say, I can go to rehab or I need some job training, things like that. Then you go to that transitional housing, right? That we talked about where there might be job training, recovery services, all of those types of things. And when people pass through that, then they go to supportive housing. I mean, permanent supportive housing. That's what we're looking at here. You know, people are going through a lot before they get to that permanent housing. The people that are going to come into permanent housing are more stable, are ready. They're going to, like our county executive said, they're going to be a part of our community. They're going to bring in sales tax revenue. They're going to maybe volunteer. They're, you know, all of these great things. So I really want to encourage folks to take a step back and think about the judgment that we're having of people. I wish I could had the time to tell you the stories of so many people that I met in my years. I heard a lot of hem and haw when we talked about addiction, but I bet almost every single one of us in this room can say we've had someone in our lives that has experienced that. The organization I worked at had a recovery program. No one will ever convince me that people can't change because I saw it happen every single day. People with decades of recovery under their belt. When the gentleman on public comment said, I work for an organization that helps people who have developmental disabilities find housing, the room groaned.
Paper.
The room groaned. I'm just saddened by that. No matter how you feel about this project in our community, I hope that we can stop for a second and think about people and each other's humanity. We are all born with human dignity. And because we recognize that dignity in each other, we treat each other with respect. And I want to not just hear people say, I care, but. Let's really practice what we preach. And, how can we call on other cities to do their part if we're not doing our part too? I think it's every single one of us stepping up. And, I'm new here, and it sounds like there is a lot of history of not a lot of collaboration and support, but maybe this is the time, maybe this is the rubber meeting the road where we start, we've got some newer folks on council, we're in a new time in Millbrae. Let's start talking about our collaborations with SFO. Let's start talking about our collaborations with BART, and let's start making it happen. And take what we've learned from our past and move forward. Let me just see if there's anything I missed.
But Councilmember, I just would say absolutely thank you for that. We are standing ready, willing, and able to assist when we come to these other entities and work together to ensure that they bring their share to the table also.
Thank you. There was one person mentioned child predators. By law, because of the location of this building and its proximity to a school, it's not legal for that, so people don't need to worry about that. I think that was the one other additional thing, but thank you.